With breaking news in Willowbrook, there has been a shooting involving a federal agent. Eyewitness News reporter David Gonzalez just arrived at the scene. Authorities are on scene, and David is, so he can tell us what's going on. David?
Hey, good morning, Philip. Yeah, this story is developing as we speak. I'm live here off 126th Street and Mona Boulevard in Compton. And right now, those are unconfirmed reports of a shooting that took place here in this neighborhood. But here off into the distance, you could see a big scene right now involving federal agents and the sheriff's office, LA County Sheriff's Office is on the scene right now, talking to witnesses here on the scene right now. We have reports that agents were chasing a car here on the scene. I don't know if Brian, the photographer, could pan over to the car. This a gray BMW that has front end damage. We're hearing from witnesses that this car was being chased by possible federal agents. It crashed, and then the people in the car tried to run away, and that's when something happened here on the scene. We hear that possibly those people have been detained. But right now, I'm being joined by Andrew. Andrew lives in the area, and Andrew, you said you were running by, you were exercising this morning. What did you see this morning?
I had just seen a vehicle, two sheriff cars that came down southbound from Mona Park, and then eventually I just seen the lights flicker on, so I thought they had pulled over the vehicle, but then as I come down, that's when I had seen this whole commotion, and then I seen the vehicle parked, so I was just like, does that have to be ICE? Because, you know, a lot of us have immigrant parents, so we're just trying to be aware of our surroundings and stuff like that, so I was just trying to make sure that if it was to confirm it was ICE, and yes, it was, so I was just trying to make sure, you know, I put it on social medias just to keep whereabouts for families and stuff like that. But yeah, apparently.
So you see ICE agents here. We see they're clearly, some of them are clearly marked with Border Patrol on their chest. They're wearing masks. What are you hearing as to what took place? Have you heard anything specific as to what took place involving this car?
The only thing was that they were involved in not in a high-speed chase, but that they were chasing a vehicle, and then they had shots fired. I don't know if it was coming from the person from the vehicle or if it was ICE agents shooting at the vehicle, but, you know, all the speculations of ICE agents shooting people and stuff like that, so, you know.
And seeing this in your neighborhood, obviously seeing federal agents, you mentioned this is a big immigrant population in this neighborhood. What goes through your mind?
It's just scary, you know. We have a school that's just not that few hundred yards away, you know. So it's like you got kids that are here, kids that are fearful for their parents to get taken away, stuff like that. So it's very alarming and stuff like that. So it's very hard.
And then when it comes to reports of a shooting, what have you heard? Have you heard any shootings, anything about a shooting? Did you hear anything?
I didn't hear anything specifically on my run, but the main thing was just that we just got to make sure that no shooting is involved because there are a lot of students and kids around this neighborhood.
And David, right now, off to the left, Philip.
David, before our witness goes anywhere, you know, we're seeing the federal agents, yes, but we're all seeing the sheriff's deputies. I'm kind of curious, with his experience, how quickly were the sheriff's deputies there after all of the shooting and the chase and everything that was going on? Because it seems like they were there pretty quickly.
Right now, Philip is asking how fast did the sheriffs get here? Obviously, if this it seems to involve federal agents, but how far or how fast were LA County sheriffs involved? Were they involved? Were they the ones with the lights on that you saw?
Yes, that was sheriffs. So that was maybe an immediate. The sheriff's station is not that far, so it's literally like maybe half a mile from here. So like within 2 minutes from when I seen them, that's when the lights had spewed on. So and I had seen them.
And then off to the left, we see two federal agents here with their vest on, their helmets on, their faces covered. We see the guns. What goes through your mind? We kind of just heard them getting out of the car behind us.
I just feel like what's the necessary like that? You know, what's the force that you need to do and get so many armored weapons to bring somebody in? You know, it shouldn't have the need to have you have it on edge to where you're gonna have to shoot somebody. You know.
And right now, we heard that they possibly might be people detained. Have you heard anything about that? We heard, obviously, people try to run away from this car. Did you hear that anyone was detained, or this is all speculation?
So, yeah, so it's mostly what I just heard, but I heard that 3 people were detained, and they're already in the vehicle that's inside right there.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew. We'll get back to you in a second. Appreciate you, man. But as you heard right there from Andrew, he said he was on his run, and he spotted this kind of sheriffs driving in the area with their lights on, so it caught his attention. And then when he got to the corner of 126th and Mona Boulevard, that's where he saw this big scene involving federal agents here. When we arrived on the scene, we could tell you that there's a lot of people walking their kids to school. He mentioned there's a school nearby, so we saw cross guards as we made our way here, stopping traffic for kids to cross the streets. And that, I want to say, is maybe 3 or 4 blocks from where we're standing. We've seen parents walk their kids with permission from law enforcement through the actual crime scene that's being blocked off by yellow tape. So right now, as you can tell, people are trying to live their normal lives, but also trying to figure out and understand what exactly is taking place here. But all we can say right now is that some sort of federal immigration raid or enforcement is taking place here in this neighborhood. Right now, according to witnesses, it involved a car that possibly was involved in some sort of chase that ended here. It crashed. We see front end damage to that car. Unconfirmed reports of a shooting. We have not been able to confirm any of that here on the ground. And we also haven't been able to confirm who was detained or if anyone was injured. Philip?
Well, David, we're going to stick with this here for a minute. So if you'll just bear with us. So we heard a lot about what Andrew saw. We're looking at a lot of the images you've seen. So clearly this has been going on for a minute or two because they've got the crime scene tape up and everything. Have you seen or have you heard of anybody that saw medical personnel come by? I don't see any first responders outside of law enforcement. So has anybody been hurt that you can see?
And that's one thing that I did notice when we started hearing reports of shooting is that I have not spotted first responders when it comes to an ambulance or fire trucks here on the scene. All we could see is sheriff's vehicles blocking the road. Brian, my photographer, says he sees CHP also here on the scene. And of course, you see kind of these Border Patrol agents or federal agents in their tactical gear here blocking the road as well. One thing I can tell you is that when we first arrived, we did see a couple people talking to sheriffs here on the scene, and they were basically in an argument with them about why they're here, and the sheriff's deputy was kind of trying to calm them down, that they're here kind of just blocking the road, kind of just trying to calm the situation, not trying to incite anyone or make anyone mad. Obviously, it's a developing story, so a lot of people are questioning what's happening, but I could tell you the traffic behind us is a neighborhood street here on Mona Boulevard, and people are driving by, they're slowing down, and they're asking, is it ICE? What's happening? So, of course, the word is spreading that something is taking place in this neighborhood, and as you heard from Andrew just a few minutes ago, he says that there's a lot of immigrant families in this community. So, of course, people are living in fear based off what we're seeing on TV and across the country and here locally as well.